Hello, my friends. I'm here today to check in on my halfway point of my 4 weeks of sobriety. I've recorded this a couple times now. I keep rambling, so I'm going to try to not do that. So basically, on January 16th, that was the last time I had any drinks, as I wrapped up that stream that morning. I streamed that Friday night into Saturday morning, and I was screaming about doing bad things to myself, and I was very destructive, and I woke up after the fact, and I'm like, dang, it was a bad way to be. I'm gonna see if I could just kick the stuff for a while, because I felt like I was going kind of too crazy. And so the 2-week point of the 4 weeks was this last Saturday, the 30th, and so here we are now a couple days after that. So basically my experience in these first 2 weeks of sobriety has been not too bad, I would say. At first, the first few days or so, 3 to 4 days, I was definitely going through withdrawals. I was very irritated, irritable, pissy, and I just kept on, being in this like push and pull kind of thing where I was like, I don't need it, fuck, I want to drink so bad, no, yes I do, no I don't, and so it was good that I didn't happen to have any around, because, I was like salivating over the thought of a drink, and it was bad, it was very rough, it was rough those first few days, but then I got over that hump, and then I felt good that I did, because I could feel the immediate urges dissipating, I'm like, okay, because that's what it's all about. You gotta just kind of like take a deep breath and just calm down and try to keep your mind right, and then I was able to do that, and I felt good, I'm like, oh, I'm more hydrated than I ever have been. So many days, so many mornings I'm waking up now, and I'm not feeling like waking up and like being all like this, like, oh, I don't even know what's going on, like all jumbled up. I'm like, wow, that is good. That's good. And I'm like, damn, I'm sitting there those after those first few days, I'm like, damn, do I really ever need to drink again? I'm like, I'm kind of feeling like I might be getting back to, how I was before I got in this loop of things. I'm sitting there and I'm kind of, feeling all good. And that was good. And that pretty much has continued to be on, because that would have been like, the end of the first week, and pretty much, through that next week too, for the most part. I'm like, oh, I don't have any around to tempt me. I'm kind of doing my thing. I'm here by myself, and anyway, so I'm kind of just doing some shit and keeping myself occupied. And then now this last weekend, I was invited to go see some family who I hadn't been up that way since November, and there was gonna be drinking going on. It was a little get together. But I still opted to, I could have very easily drank some alcohol and been in the mix, but I opted to not do that. And, and I made it through the weekend just a-okay. Once again, there was a little bit of a temptation at first, but, I realized I don't need it. I was like, oh, I don't need that, I don't have to have it, Now, this caffeine addiction, that's maybe another story, but anyway. But then I did feel a little strange yesterday, as everything's winding down. It was always good to see people, good to see the family, and people are kind of heading their one way, and I was going to be heading back my direction. And then I did kind of feel a little weird, because I think a part of the reason why I was feeling pretty good over the weekend, it was just a good atmosphere, seeing my family, and it was very, very positive and just good energy and good. It wasn't like too out of control for anybody. It wasn't like a real sloppy, crazy, wild party. It was just a little get-together kind of situation. So then it was kind of like leaving. I kind of got this weird feeling, and I'm like, It kind of made me realize that I have generally drank because I'm unhappy, right? And so, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I just had a very happy time, and now it's kind of on the wind down, and so I'm kind of feeling a little bit of that, like the winding down, kind of like the woo, all right, okay, it's like leaving a theme park or something after you're having a great day, woo, and you're walking out, and you're like, all right, now I don't know when I'm gonna be back. It's gonna be a little while before I come back to the theme park again, but it was a lot of fun to be here. It was, it's just that kind of feeling of like, kind of like the winding down of the excitement. And so I'm on my way back, and I just had it was just this weird feeling where I'm like, because I guess I've kind of really been drinking a lot over the last few years, and so it's sort of like, in a way, I've kind of wired good feelings in my brain to be like alcohol and good feeling is like an inseparable thing, like in my brain, right? It's because it's what I've turned to. It's like, you know, I can't. It kind of just was like when I didn't have anything else. You know, when I felt I lost my direction in life. It was like I don't really need direction. I can just drink, and then I feel good. So who cares anyway? You know, the world's all messed up. I'll just drink because who cares anyway, right? And so like I'm on my way back, and it was just this weird feeling. It was like, it was like going through a separation. I just don't even know how to describe it really in a way that might make sense, but it was like, in my mind, it was like alcohol was like a person, and I was leaving them. They were like a person that I loved, and I'm like turning my back on them or something. It was just this weird feeling that I had. That's the best way I can describe it. Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, it would be like intentionally ignoring somebody that you love for like 4 weeks. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I just don't know. That's the best way I could put it, you know? It was a weird feeling. It was like, you know, it's like I'm never going to get these weeks back. I'm like 4 weeks without alcohol, and I could be drinking every day, and I could be having fun and loving life every day with my alcohol, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm leaving, you know, I'm like, it's like, you know, it's just there. It could be good fun times every day. I could be drinking every day and having fun every day. But I'm not, and that's just the best way I could put it. And it sounds bizarre. I felt bizarre to like feel that way. But I guess the best thing I could say looking forward is that I don't know. I need to rearrange my thinking. You know, I need to rearrange the way that I'm looking at things, because if that's how I'm feeling, you know, then in 2 weeks from now when I decide to like, okay, I did it, you know, all right, it's all over, I'm just going to fall right back. Any kind of bad habit that was there, I'm just going to fall back into it, you know what I mean? The same thing, how every single year, I go to the gym for a few months, and then or I work out for a few months or whatever it is, and then I just fall back into the same bad shit every single time because I have so many bad habits that kind of like, you know, but gosh, I just don't even know, you know what I mean? It's like, obviously there's things to do, you know, there's all kinds of things I should be doing, which was a part of the reason why I stopped drinking, because I'm like, okay, I ignore so much of my life to where it causes problems and stuff. I just, you know, but it's always so easy to fall back on, who cares anyway, because everything's so fucked up, who cares anyway, you know, and that's what I keep doing. I keep falling back on, all right, I'm getting back to the gym, who even cares, fuck it. Oh, I'm doing this positive thing for myself, I'm working on doing this or that, and I just I need to find a reason to live, I guess, you know what I mean? I need to like yeah, because that's just what it is, you know. It's like without any purpose or whatever, then it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, well, then what the fuck matters anyway, you know? Nothing even matters, so it's like, I'll just do whatever the fuck I feel like doing until I die, you know? And it's not a good way to be. You're never gonna get anywhere like that, you know what I mean? And I obviously have wasted probably a lot of time in my life feeling and thinking that way. So it's not like I don't have things to do. Like I said, I mean, right now, today I've been wasting my time. Today even I've had things that I should be doing, and I'm like, oh no, I'll get, you know, I'm disorganized. Yeah, I've allowed myself to really just be very content with a very disorganized, really like fucked up way of living, because I just basically got to this point where nothing seemed to matter to me anymore at all. Nothing seemed to have any purpose to me anymore at all, you know? I'd always put so much purpose on women, you know, for so many years. And so when I got to a point like 2018 where I'm like, damn, I just don't even think I don't think it's ever gonna come together for me like that, you know? That was really, you know, it's how it was for so many years. I'd be like, anytime I wanted to get in shape, I'd always like really lean in on a woman, like, oh, I gotta do this, because how am I gonna go to this chick and I'm not in shape, you know? I'm gonna lean into it, because it's not even about like, oh, I gotta be this shredded or whatever, but it's just like, I gotta have some fucking actual fitness or whatever. We can't go on a hike because I'm fat and out of shape, or whatever the case might be, you know. Or when there was money, you know, over the years, it would be like, I mean, money, when like, years ago, that was never, like, a big issue, I guess. But then it was after a while, when I was, like, in my mid-20s, then, like, money seemed to be, like, an issue with women. Like, you know, they needed a guy that made good money. And so, you know, I was willing to, obviously, you know, when I dated my ex, I was working upwards of 80 hours a week for a good amount of time. And that's the type of way I would feel. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll fucking work every waking minute of my life every day if that's what it takes for the right woman, you know what I mean? And it was obviously a terrible idea to do that, looking back. But that's the same thing too. It's like, okay, well, if there's no women around, or there's no woman that's gonna ever be, you know, that's just a fucking lost hope, then it's like, well, who cares then, you know? I'll just be homeless. Who gives a fuck anyway? It's like, what does it even matter then, right? So obviously, I guess would that be so it's like, I guess maybe dependency, you know, is you know, I don't know. At one point, you know, always trying to lean in on using a woman as like the goal or whatever for I'm gonna get my shit together now because of this chick. And then when that falls apart, then it's like, well, I'm sad, so now I'm just gonna, you know, lean in on the alcohol instead. You know, it's not healthy or whatever, but it helps me get through. but you know, but then it's like, well, then through till what, you know? Because it's the same thing when you're LDAR. You know, you're just sitting there and you're laying in bed all day for months, and it's like, well, what's it gonna, you know, where's this going? It's going nowhere. You know, you're just gonna sit there and you're laying there and it never ends, and until one day it ends. So it's not gonna end well. You know what I mean? It's gonna end in a bad way. Yeah, so I'm not tempted to drink. But I'm just kind of yeah, I have that feeling, you know, I have that feeling of like, you know, it's like being at a movie, and you sat there and you enjoyed the movie, and the movie's good or whatever, and you're sitting there and it's like getting to the credits, and it's like, all right, the credits are rolling, I'm gonna have to leave at some point, you know, but maybe it was a really touching, really moving film, so you're still sitting there and you're, oh, that's a good movie, yeah, that's a good movie, you know, or, you're just sitting there and waiting for the, you know, eventually the lights are gonna turn off or whatever, and you gotta go. You don't have to go home, but you don't gotta stay here, right, so to speak. So it's like one day, you know, yeah. So anyways, I'm still sober, and, yes, indeed. And I don't think I'll have any problem finishing the 4 weeks. It's just, you know, I guess I gotta figure out where am I gonna go. What's the plan after that? Alright, well, I won't take any more of your time. I think that about sums it up. So, yeah. Until next time, my friends, adios, take care. I will see you again soon.